Dr. Seuss is one of the most famous authors of all time, with his main claim to fame being his ability to rhyme. I swear that wasn't intentional. While everyone knows and loves his books, no one really talks about the movie adaptations. Why is that? Are these movies secretly good? Maybe these movies are hidden gems and we just, I don't know, I'm still pretending. You saw the thumbnail, let's just get this over with.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
First impressions are everything. So then why does this movie look so dull? Seriously, I've never seen a town so devoid of color, which definitely isn't a quality your Christmas movie should have. Then we get a good look at the Who's and Jesus! I thought this was a good idea. They look scarier than the actual Grinch. Alright, the Grinch. The Grinch of the movie is played by Jim Carrey. And yeah, he's the best part of this movie.
Wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one.
And the soon this movie looks great. Overall, I think the Grinch is handled super well in this movie. Okay, this is where the compliments end. Now's a good time to talk about the story. We start with the Grinch pissing about in Whoville until he meets Cindy Lou. Fast forward a bit, and now Cindy wants to know the Grinch's backstory. And by God, is this boring? We spent so much time with the kid version of the Grinch, it feels so drawn out. And honestly, that's my main complaint with this whole movie. It takes so long for the movie to get to the point that by the time fun things are happening, you just don't care. Anyway, after Cindy Lou learns the Grinch's half-assed backstory, she decides to invite the Grinch to a Christmas celebration. Some stuff happens, the Grinch is finally stealing Christmas, and this movie is only halfway done! You know the rest. Grinch steals Christmas, his heart goes 3 slices, he gives back Christmas, and gets the girl. Wait, what?
Always welcome Christmas.
Why are you singing now? You aren't that kind of Christmas movie. Overall, while I like Jim Carrey, it doesn't stop this movie from being a sloppy, boring mess. Giving it a 3 out of 10. Let's move on to the next movie.
Fun, fun, go insane and have some fun, fun, fun. Just look at me. Fun, fun, fun. No more rain. Look.
First impressions are everything, and Jesus, this movie looks ugly. How does this movie have the opposite problem of the Grinch? While the Grinch looks dull and way too realistic, the Cat in the Hat is way too colorful and fake. Makes this whole world look like it's made out of plastic, and overall makes this movie look so cheap. We're introduced to Joanne. I forgot her last name, so I'm just gonna go with Smith. We're introduced to Joanne Smith and her 2 children, Conrad and, I want to say Susie? Sally. Conrad is a rule breaker, while Sally is a control freak, and hold on, give me a second. Oh, that's it. They have an evil stepdad. Because of course they do. Anyway, they're left alone in their house until they hear noises coming from the closet.
Look on your face, it was like you saw a monster.
A monster? Where?
Alright, I forgot this is a Cat in the Hat movie.
Humongous. I prefer the term big bone to jolly. Now, what are we hiding from?
Never mind, I think I was wrong.
Why, I'm the Cat in the Hat. There's no doubt about that. I'm a super fundiferous feline who's here to make sure that you're me-line, key-line, turpentine. I got nothing. I'm not so good with the rhyming. Not really.
Wow, I think taking a piss on Dr. Seuss's grave is less disrespectful. And in comes this movie's biggest problem. The Cat in the Hat isn't funny. The Cat in the Hat tells jokes constantly, and only one of them actually landed.
This amazing device can instantly make cupcakes out of anything that you have in the kitchen. Wait a minute, did you say anything? Anything. Anything. Yes, anything. 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 I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident.
But besides that, our comedic relief tells the unfunniest jokes ever. Not to mention the laugh he does after every one. God. Doesn't even sound like a laugh. It sounds like he's out of breath. And his costume. Dear God, his costume. See what you want about the Grinch's costume, but at least it works for that movie. This, I don't even know how anyone approved of this. Anyway, at the 40-minute mark, we finally get to the real plot. The Cat in the Hat had a crate that opened a portal to his home dimension, and the lock that was closing this crate was lockpicked by Conrad, after which their dog took and now possesses on his collar.
Right, Nevins. Oh. Time to die.
Dr. Seuss movie, by the way, guys, so for the whole family.
Wow.
One thick joke in the Dr. Seuss movie is impressive, but two, now that takes some serious balls. Anyway, the evil stepdad gets the dog, but don't worry, they get it like 5 minutes later. They get back home and they realize that the cat's dimension has now fully consumed the house.
This is amazing! It's like a ride in an amusement park!
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching.
Subtle. They close the crate, the kids tell the cat in the hat to piss off, but if you know the story, then you know the cat in the hat comes back, cleans up the mess, all while singing an upbeat pop song. Wait, what? In the end, the stepdad is dumped, the kids learn how to have fun correctly, and they all lived happily ever after. Overall, this movie's biggest problem is that it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like an SNL skit. Unfunny jokes and all. This movie feels like a parody of itself, almost like it's ashamed of being a Dr. Seuss movie. Furthermore, like The Grinch, this movie feels so drawn out. Things just happen in this movie, and like I said before, it takes halfway through the movie to actually get to the point. This movie is terrible, and I'm giving it a 2 out of 10.
Hello?
Anyone?
Let me save us some time. This movie's getting a 5 out of 10. I remember this movie being a whole lot worse, but it turns out it's just pretty generic. Trust me, you're not missing out on much. And yes, in case you're wondering, they do start singing at the end. So, let's just move on.
My invention, the Thneed. It was an amazing product that could do the job of 1,000.
4 Years of Who was made by Blue Sky. I wonder who made the Lorax. Maybe they got a studio who's passionate about their work, like DreamWorks. I mean, they made How to Train Your Dragon and Shrek, so maybe they... Who am I fooling? Of course Illumination made this movie. From the makers that brought you Despicable Me. This isn't a brag, it's a warning. First persons are everything, and hey, this movie actually looks really pretty. Maybe this won't be so bad. The movie begins with, Jesus Christ, another musical number? Alright guys, this is big. This is the Dr. Seuss movie with the most original characters, so let's see how well they did. We have our main protagonist, Ted.
Oh, hey, Audrey.
Yep, that's how 12-year-olds sound. Next we have Audrey. And now for the million-dollar question, who plays Audrey? Is it A, Selena Gomez, B, Taylor Swift, C, Anya Taylor-Joy, or D, a voice actress who isn't a celebrity? Well, it's definitely not that one. Yeah, I actually don't know why we even put that there. I'm gonna have to go with Selena Gomez. Final answer. Ooh, sorry. The correct answer was actually Taylor Swift. Damn. It's revealed that the only reason Ted cares about the trees is because he wants to get with a 17-year-old. Great. Thanks, Illumination. I too hate payoffs.
It all started a long time ago.
Can we start not so long ago, maybe?
Do you want a tree?
Yes, yes.
Then it all started a long time.
Huh, that's weird. The movie's buffering. Well, whilst we wait, now's a good time to talk about the best part about the original story. In the original story, they never show the face of the Once, which is genius. It shows how anyone could be consumed by greed and ultimately destroy the place and environment around us. Oh hey, the movie's done buffering.
Ago.
You gotta be with me. Well, at least he doesn't have, like, a stereotypically annoying and downright evil family.
Yes, but just remember, Oncey, if somehow your invention ends up a failure instead of a success, oh, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
I really need to shut the fuck up. The monster cuts down his first tree, and the scene that proceeds is actually really good. It's heartfelt and it's in line with the message of the book. But since Illumination is allergic to making good movies, they immediately follow up with the worst scenes in the movie. Once the Lorax finds out who chopped down his tree, the first thing he tries doing is, of course, attempted murder. Oh, yeah, and destroy his house too. Man, how the hell did this movie make the Lorax seem like the villain?
I hereby swear that I will never chop down another tree.
Oh, I wonder what the reason's gonna be for when he breaks his promise. Maybe it's like the original where he's consumed by greed.
Well, what else can we do?
Well, and this just came to me. We could always start chopping down the trees.
Well, I guess it couldn't hurt to chop down a few trees.
So, instead of the reason I just said, he instead cuts down the tree because he has an evil family. So, I guess if you don't have any of those, you'll never end up like the Onceler.
I'm the good guy here. He just doesn't get it. Do you think I'm bad?
Oh, cool. Is the One Star's Fall from Grace gonna be like the original, where he debates himself about the legitimacy of his business, but in the end he justifies himself and his actions?
Can it possibly be? How bad can I be? I'm just building the economy. How bad?
Nope, never mind. Because the main demographic of this movie is for tiny little babies who can't think. I don't care what anyone says, this song is still dog shit. Now I could continue LARPing on this song, but instead I'm gonna talk about something else. Did you know that another song was planned to be in this section of the movie? Yeah, it's called Biggering, and it shows the Onceler evolving much better than this song could ever. I generally have no idea why they didn't use it, but it just further proves my theory that Illumination is allergic to making good movies. Honestly, if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and listen to this song once you're done with this video. Alright? Well, you know the story from here. The Onceler chops down the last tree, and the world around him is plunged into a treeless world, I guess. The Onceler gives Ted the final trophular seed and tells him to plant it in the heart of the town. And what pursues is a high-octane chase scene with Ted and O'Hare and, you know what, the rest of the characters, and boom, 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 action and stuff. Ted makes it to the heart of town. He destroys the wall so all can see what the Onceler did. And in the end, he plants a seed, saves the world, and you know what? F it, why not? Add another pop song in there. The audience already knows we don't care, so why not run with it?
We cleaned up the house. We even managed to work in an up-tempo pop tune for the soundtrack. That's important.
And hey, get this. The Lorax comes back. I'm just gonna play the Nostalgia Critic clip.
Aw, isn't that just precious? Say, while you're at it, why don't you just clarify that Bambi's mom never died? Yeah, that was a bit of a downer. Why don't you just clarify that she came back and they all lived happily ever after? Come to think of it, why don't you just reveal whether or not the top falls over in Inception? Or why don't you just tell us what Bill Murray said to Scarlett Johansson? Or give away what was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction? Because that's what life is made up of, right? Answers. Easy, non-thought-provoking answers. And we need to prepare kids for just how fucking easy life is going to be.
Overall, I generally have no fucking idea how people like this movie. It's getting a 3 out of 10. Okay, I'm just gonna be upfront with this. I fucking hate this movie. Now, unlike the other top movies I talked about, I'm not gonna walk you through this story because, well, I technically already did. In this one now, I'm just gonna list my complaints about the movie. Illumination doesn't understand the Grinch, and at sometimes they don't even understand the movie that they're making. Anyway, reason number one on why Illumination doesn't understand the Grinch. The Grinch is too much of a dickhead. Well, I know what you're saying. Wasteful, isn't the point of the Grinch is that he's a giant asshole? And yes, you would be correct. My main gripe about this movie is that the Grinch has no reason to hate Christmas. Now yes, technically, in the original, it was never explained why the Grinch hates Christmas. But in this movie, we are given a reason why the Grinch hates Christmas. But it's just a terrible reason. So in this movie, the reason why the Grinch hates Christmas is because when he was an orphan, no one celebrated Christmas with him because, well, he's an orphan. So ever since his childhood, he's hated Christmas. But that explanation just doesn't make any sense. In this movie, literally none of the Who's hate the Grinch. None of the Who's treat the Grinch differently. So if he hated Christmas because he was alone, why does he hate Christmas now, even though he's not alone? Hell, one of the Who's considers the Grinch a friend.
The unbearable Bricklebaum. He thinks we're friends.
And the Grinch knows it. So if the Grinch knows it, why the hell does he hate Christmas? Number two on how the Illumination doesn't understand the Grinch. The Grinch is too nice. Now, I know what you're saying. What the f***, Wasteful? You just told me how much of a dick the Grinch is. Now you're trying to tell me he's a nice person? Well, my astute viewer, it's not me who's being contradictory. It's the movie. Take this, for example. In the beginning half of the movie, the Grinch spends a solid time trying to track down some reindeer so he could steal Christmas. But the only reindeer he could find was Fred. Now they hang around for a while until eventually, Fred decides to go outside, when it is revealed that Fred actually has a family. Now, what does the Grinch do in the scene? He lets Fred go be with his family. Now, I don't think I should be the one who tells you this, but the Grinch isn't the type of person to do this. In the original, the Grinch was a giant asshole, not just to the Who's, but to his dog too. He constantly mistreated him, but I guess that's also not accurate here too, because Grinch treats Max as if he's family.
All right, I'm sorry. You're a good dog. What would you like to do?
And also, you know Cindy Lou? You know, the little girl is meant to remind the Grinch the true meaning of Christmas. Well, yeah, in this movie, she still does that, but she better get in line because there's like 4 other things that reminds him the true meaning of Christmas. It's just so jarring watching a movie about the Grinch and have him just be a kind person who is kind of a dickhead sometimes. And this leads to my second point. Illumination didn't understand its own movie. Here, let me set the scene for you. In the entirety of this movie, Cindy Lou spends her time trying to make a plan to capture Santa, her goal being to ask Santa to not give her presents, but instead give her mother a break because she works way too hard. In the end of the movie, where the Who's wake up and they see how all their Christmas presents and decorations are gone, the person who reminds everyone that Christmas isn't about presents, it's about family. The person who says that is, of course, you guessed it, Cindy Lou's mom. That legitimately doesn't make sense. The whole point of Cindy Lou's character is that she is meant to remind the Grinch what Christmas is all about, and she does do that in this movie. But the person who announces the true meaning of Christmas is not Cindy Lou, it is her mother, a person who has a total screen time of probably 5 minutes. I really could go on about this movie, like how kid-friendly the Grinch is, or how bad Tyler the Creator's song is. But I'm not. There's one scene in this movie that really represents what I've been trying to say, and it's this.
And that is why I'm promoting you. Max, you will guide my sleigh tonight.
Now if you're wondering what's wrong with this scene, let me show you the clip of the original that this scene is based on. They're the same scene. The Grinch makes Max one of his reindeers. But in reality, they couldn't be any more different. Well, one is an example of animal abuse and truly shows how despicable the Grinch is. The other, it's like a reward for Max. It's like an honor. This really goes to show how Illumination just looked at the original story and said, yeah, I get it. Yeah, Cindy Lou, she's meant to be the kind girl. Yeah, the Grinch, he's meant to be an asshole, right? But no, they don't get it. They don't understand Dr. Seuss. And this movie, it's just a soulless cash grab. So, well, technically, if you watch this movie, you might have yourself a mediocre time. When you really sit down and pay attention to what you're watching, you're going to realize that this movie is a 2 out of 10. Yes, I'm lumping in the same tier as The Cat in the Hat. Hey, by the way, if you made it this far, you should really consider subscribing. Oh yeah, you should hit that subscribe button. Ooh, look at that number, that's real low. And especially that ratio, even lower, I think. I don't know, this was pre-recorded, and I didn't see the numbers beforehand, so I don't know, maybe they're high. I don't know. So, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that maybe Dr. Seuss shouldn't be translated into movies. They work perfectly well as books and serve as lessons to children around the world. But who am I kidding? In 2028, I predict that we're gonna get another CGI movie, probably about the Cat in the Hat, and just like that one Smurfs movie, no one's gonna care or talk about it. But hey, maybe I could be wrong. Anyway, I've been Wasteful, and I wasted your time.